Hello everyone, hope you're all well on this Wednesday night. I'm not in the truck. I am in the RAV4. Mrs. Dawg drives the RAV and it's time to gas it up. So I'm taking it out here to fill up the gas tank. And so she doesn't have to. It's a little later in the day and I had a long day at work, so I didn't get a chance to record a video before I got home. And I thought about just not doing one, but there's a couple of things on my mind and I thought, well, I'll just do an impromptu video. Two things that were on my mind. Number one, be careful out there driving. Be extra careful out there on the roads. Because it seems that, I don't know about where you live, but here in Georgia, North Georgia, it seems to be more dangerous every day out there. And Mrs. Dawg probably sees it more than I do because she's driving into a metro Atlanta almost every day for work. Where I'm not. I am going into Athens, but I do a lot of driving around in general in my work. So I see a lot of stuff too. Also, the other thing, don't quit your day job. All right, I'll get to that in a minute. But this driving, and this is just an example. Yesterday, on my way home, I pulled out onto a highway, and granted, now I'm not a speed demon, and my truck is 20 years old. I'm in an old Toyota truck, and it's not a speed demon. It takes a minute for the old Bessie to get up and go, but it runs great. It's just old, and it's gonna go a lot longer. But anyway, that's beside the point. I guess I wasn't going accelerating fast enough, so this car came up behind me so fast, and I think it sped up. And as it went around me to my left and trying to get back in front of me, it almost clipped his bumper, but I was just going straight. If I hadn't have pumped the brakes just enough to slow down, just enough for him to miss me, it actually wouldn't have hurt me. It would have hurt them more, because I would have actually spun him out unintentionally. So, I mean, he almost did himself in. If I had not pumped the brakes, he would have hit my left front of my truck. And I got it's a little Toyota truck, but it's got steel bumpers, chrome. Back then they made them to last. And that's real steel, man. And he was in a newer Honda, I don't know what that was, an Accord. I couldn't even tell he was going so fast. Full of plastic. He would not have fared well. But anyway, it was just, it can happen in a second, 2 seconds. And I'm just glad I had a quick reaction to just pump the brake just enough to avoid that collision. So just when you least expect it, it only takes a couple of seconds. So be extra careful. We have to watch out for the idiots. We have to watch out for the other imbeciles out there, because I guess they don't think it's going to happen to them, or I don't know what their deal is, or I don't know. Are they demons? I don't, they're in such a hurry to go nowhere fast. I mean, let's face it. If you're driving in North Georgia, you're not getting too many places very fast. You're going to run into some traffic. So you're going to risk your life to get to the next stoplight, 15 seconds before I do? And then I'm going to pull up behind you and go, have a nice day, idiot. So, that's the way it goes. But I had one just a minute ago do almost a similar thing to me. And I'm going over the speed limit. Now I'm in the RAV here, so I definitely got more pep on the pedal in this thing. This is a 2018 RAV, and by the way, y'all, this thing, it just turned over 60,000 miles. Runs like it came off the showroom floor, man. I mean, this thing is a beast. It's a little beast. But they don't make them like this anymore, y'all. The way they finish these out. No, I mean, back then you got a lot of extra stuff just standard equipment. Nowadays, it'd probably cost you another $20,000 to get just your basic little extra add-on stuff, like automatic air or auto whatever. You know? Anyway. So be extra careful driving out there. People, it's like Mad Max, man. People have lost their minds. And they've lost their minds even more on the road. Okay, don't quit your day job. Now, you're going to say, well, dog, I'm retired, I'm on whatever. Still listen to this, because it can still apply. It could still apply to you or somebody close to you, family member, child, grown child, grandchild, friend, whatever. But I am hearing more and more about layoffs. I think they're really going to ramp up this year. The jobs numbers didn't look that good when they came out. I think it was last week, I believe, or so. And I meant to talk about it in a video, and I just hadn't gotten to it. But right now, you're hearing a lot about the tech companies. The big names get the press, but a lot of small ones you're not going to hear about. Like the Tesla. I heard where Tesla is laying off like crazy. Anything to do with automobile, those big electric cars like that, I don't know. They're in trouble right now. Amazon, Meta, which is Facebook, Apple, all these tech places, all these tech companies, they're in a little bit of a bind. They're in trouble. And just with the economy the way it is, with small businesses and even medium-sized businesses, the way they're getting laid out with taxes and the government, the regulations and such, I think, what was the statistic I read out last week or so, is over 45% of business owners or businesses are operating or having to borrow money to meet payroll, to pay their employees, to keep it afloat. That's not good. It's not good at all. I believe unemployment is much higher than what the government is going to put out there. They're going to lie their backsides off. And if you're working, keep that job. Now, if you say, well, dog, I don't like what I'm doing, I'm looking for something else. Fine. Please keep your job until you find something else. What I mean by that, not just until they extend an offer and you say, I'm in. Keep that job until you know for sure you're in, you're hired, you've signed on the dotted line. Okay? Please, until it's sewed up and it's a done deal. Don't quit. And if you possibly can, give at least a 2 weeks notice to the job that you're on right now. You never know when you got to cross that bridge again. I know you're going to be like, dog, I'm never crossing that bridge. I'm going to torch it. Okay, torch the bridge. However, that could hurt you if you're in this, if you work in this field and you're going to work in the same or similar industry somewhere else. Sometimes those are small worlds. People talk. So be careful with that. Don't trash your former employer. I don't care. I know it's tempting. Don't trash them. Don't talk in an interview or afterwards. Even after you've interviewed and you're hired, don't trash your former employer. Even if they're talking about them, you just keep it neutral. It will always come back to bite you. I promise you. Especially in an interview. Do not say, well, guy, they suck, and they're treating me bad and I'm getting a raw deal and I'm looking for something better. And don't do that. They will not. That will not work. You're looking for a better opportunity. You're looking to move up. You're looking to move on. That's fine. Just don't trash them. Don't speak negatively about them or any person, for goodness sakes. But my main point is keep your job and not just keep it. Don't just do enough to get by. Excel at it, especially right now, because if layoffs are coming, and you may not even know they're coming to your area or your employer or your field or your industry. Do what you can to be hard to lay off. In other words, now we're all expendable. I know, They can cut you out in a moment and run along just fine. People are like, they can't do it without me. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. And they will. They will. However, do your job. Excel at it the best you can. Keep in close contact, communication with your supervisor, especially your direct supervisor. That's important. Keep the communication going. How's it going? How am I doing? Anything else you need? That kind of stuff. Because when it comes time for layoffs, you might not be the first to go, or you may not go at all. You may not be let go. You never know. It depends. At the worst, even if you are laid off, you can get unemployment benefits. You can use them as a reference. Hey, I did good work, and they can testify. Hey, you did a great job. We just had a workforce reduction. Okay, so it can still work in your favor. So look at the big picture. Don't just look at pay. Don't just look at pay rate. Like if you're looking for another job and you see a higher pay rate and you're like, it's tempting to go for it. Look at the total picture. What kind of benefits do they have? Or do they have benefits? Or do they suck? Just when they say we offer benefits, they might suck. So try to figure out, somebody there, find out, do some research, if their benefits are good or not. You got to look at the whole package of your income there, okay? Not just the pay alone. What kind of vacation do they get? Those kind of things. If you know somebody in that firm, in that company, see what they think. Ask them how they like it. So, if you have a gig, you drive DoorDash, you do DoorDash, you drive Uber, something like that, and it's going well, and you're like, well, dog, I can do this and be my job. I would caution against that. Don't put all your eggs in that kind of basket. I would keep your day job. Do the gig as extra. You want to pick up some extra on that gig on the weekends, do it then. But don't let that overshadow and jeopardize your day job. Especially if you're getting benefits. Don't do that. You will regret it. So, we just don't know. I just have a feeling that this summer could be pretty brutal. The summer and fall could be pretty brutal as far as layoffs, as far as unemployment going way up. They're gonna do crazy stuff with the numbers and make it sound like it's not so bad. You know that's gonna happen. Anyway, that's my main message right now. I don't have a specific verse in mind right now because I just kind of did an impromptu video. But what I was thinking about is I get comments every now and then. I've been getting more comments lately about you're really down, you're the fearmonger, not necessarily calling it per se fearmonger per se, but you're all bad news and this and that. I'm just reporting what's going on, number one. And number two, I always end it on a positive note. So, and I always preach, don't get down. Don't let what's going on in this world take you down mentally or be anxious about it. I know you're going to have moments when you are, but don't let that throw you off and throw you off your game. All right. Remember how many times in the Bible it talks about do not worry. Do not be afraid. We are not built for that. Do not be afraid. Do not worry. Do not be anxious. Jesus said, do not worry, for tomorrow has enough to worry of its own. All right? I'm paraphrasing. But don't let that bring you down. Because we will endure. We will endure this. Now, there may be times when we're uncomfortable. We might get uncomfortable, and I think we are going to be. And it can be very tough. You're going to go through some trials. You might go through some tribulation. But we will endure. And He's going to see us through it. Because He promises that, and He is faithful. That never changes. Never changes. So keep that in mind. Do not worry. Do not be afraid. Be ready. Be ready. Be ready for his return at any time. We just don't know the day or the hour, right? But you just got to be ready, and don't let it worry you. Okay? Let not your heart be troubled, right? All right. Share your thoughts. Hope this was helpful. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I'll see you soon.